Tonight on CTV News at 5.
Fully electric vehicles, BEVs as we call them, they have been getting a lot of attention.
EV interest as gas prices soar. Canadians consider electric vehicles.
I had to look over at him in the locker room and kind of laugh at him, right?
And a family affair. The Wilson brothers team up once again.
Rain and showers moving in tonight. Sunny breaks for a few areas tomorrow.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Penopalis. Thank you for joining us. First at 5 tonight, power trip, affordability, infrastructure, and overall confidence saw electric vehicles dip in popularity over the last several years. But new data suggests drivers are rethinking their options. As CTV's Emma Convey shows us, electric interest has rebounded. Hi there, Emma.
That's right, Maria. New data shows there's been a spike in EV searches and sales in Canada. Here's a look at what's driving those numbers. While some Maritimers in Halifax fill their tanks at the pumps, others have theirs on charge. According to a recent Auto Trader survey, there's a growing interest in moving towards electric.
Back in 2022, it was sitting at 68%. This year, for the first time since the inception of the survey, we saw an uptick in purchase intentions.
The survey found 49% of non-EV owners are open to purchasing an EV as their next vehicle.
The federal announcement, the incentives are back, and there's going to be substantial amount of investment on infrastructure.
It also comes down to savings at the pump.
We saw this back in March 2022 as well, when the Russia and Ukrainian war had just started, and we are seeing exact same thing.
The online used car retailer Clutch has seen this firsthand.
Gas prices are up over 30% over the last couple of months.
Clutch's latest research finds a 94% increase in searches for EVs over the last 60 days.
And sales for EVs are now up almost 50-60% over the course of the last couple of months.
Park says prices are down as well.
The average EV is now quite affordable. A used Tesla Model 3 now averages about $28,500. A Nissan Leaf is $16,000. And then a Chevy Bolt is just under $20,000.
Maritimers have their own opinions.
Personally, I'd probably be looking more at an electric vehicle, less so because of gas prices, more so for environmental reasons.
I think they're a great option for the future, but as it stands right now, the infrastructure isn't there and they're not very affordable.
Now, Maria, one interesting point that the Auto Trader survey found is that the results differed across the provinces. Atlantic Canada was one they found stayed relatively the same. But the longer the war goes on, that could change, Maria.
Good point. Thank you, Emma. CTV's Emma Convey for us in the news center this evening, and that brings us to tonight's web poll. This is what we're asking. Are you considering buying an electric vehicle? Your options are yes, I'm thinking about it, or no, I don't want an EV. And your final option, I already have an EV. Go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in and to see the latest results. Todd Batt is now standing by with a look at the day's headlines. Hi, Todd.
Maria, how about buying a house? The maritime housing market is being described as soft right now. The latest data shows fewer home listings and sales. Plenty of reasons could be the result. Job security, inflation fears. Could the interest rates be headed back up? Coming up at 6, we'll check in to see if there's a turnaround in the cards as we approach the summer months. Also tonight, we speak with a landlord who has a big cleanup job on his hands. This after tenants he had to eventually evict left what you'll see to be an incredible mess behind. He calls it the cost of doing business, but the group that represents home renters in Nova Scotia says this should not be the way things work. We'll hear from him tonight at 6 o'clock. There is concern in St. Stephen, the border town, after word of a seniors' care home is closing after 91 years in business. The board that runs the facility listed a number of reasons for the closure. Declining occupancy, rising costs. Sounds familiar? We'll have more on the story from St. Stephen tonight at 6. Let's get the story on the weather. Kaylin Mitchell with the first look in the Weather Center right now. Kaylin?
Yeah, thank you, Todd. So a lot of cloud cover around the Maritimes today. There was some patchy drizzle. There were also a few areas of showers. We do have some wet weather on its way in for this evening and tonight. Temperatures currently around the region are mostly in the range of 8 to 12 degrees, except cooler where winds are more onshore off of colder ocean waters. That does include areas around the Bay of Chaleur in New Brunswick, the eastern coastline of that province, parts of the coastline of Prince Edward Island, and coastal areas of Nova Scotia, as well as parts of the southwestern coastline of New Brunswick. Grand Manan currently sitting at 8 degrees. St. John Airport is reporting a temperature near 11. Here's a look at those winds, mostly out of the east and southeast. They're being sustained in a lot of cases between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. Checking in on wind gusts doesn't show much. Maybe a few wind gusts out there between 20 and 30. Taking a look at things on radar and satellite. So a lot of cloud cover in place across the Maritimes. There's some patchy drizzle and fog underneath it. The next round of rain and showers, though, that's just arriving on the doorstep of the northwest of New Brunswick. This is with a low pressure system and an associated weather front. This round of rain and showers, which is squarely in place right now over the St. Lawrence River Valley in through Quebec, will make its way northwest to southeast across the Maritimes as we move through tonight and into Friday morning. And I will have more on that in the full forecast later on. But for now, we're going to go back over to Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So it's time to reveal our next hot tub guest. He is one of Canada's best-known comedians. He is also a Maritimer now, and we're so very proud of that. He's got a big show coming up at the Rebecca Cohen tomorrow evening and a new book to talk about. Mr. James Mullinger. How are you?
I'm great, Maria. Who could not be good being in a hot tub in the middle of Halifax on a wonderful evening like this?
Oh, you've got such a great sense of humor about it, too, because you're in it by yourself, but you're loving every minute.
Yeah, this is the dream. Arctic spas, this is the future. I mean, why isn't everyone in every city space doing this? I'm living the dream.
You are living the dream. Speaking of the dream, you do have a huge show coming up at the Rebecca Cohen tomorrow. Tell me about it.
I do, yeah. In just 24 hours, I'll be gearing up to walk on stage in front of 1,000 people to tape a brand new stand-up special. It's been a dream to play the Rebecca Cohen Auditorium for about 10 years. I've been working on this show for 6 months in the making, and tomorrow night it's all happening. And they always say the night before a big show, do something fun but also terrifying. So what is better than being outdoors in a hot tub on live TV?
There you go, yeah. Well, I think you've checked all those boxes off for sure. So tell me a little bit about the show. What can we expect?
Yeah, it's essentially a love letter to Canada. You know, I've been living here for over a decade now. I'm a semi-new Canadian. I love this place. So I really cover everything from Canadian politics, AI, raising teenage boys, and really the small town living is my bread and butter. It's the things that I love. So everything I've learned performing in small towns in Cow Bay or Hampton, New Brunswick, or Sussex, New Brunswick, and traveling around and just exploring beautiful places, that is what I live to do. And it's a celebration of this gorgeous place with a few laughs on the way.
Oh, a few or a lot, like belly laughs. Yeah. The last time I saw you, I left and my sides hurt. It was so hilarious. I know you're in for a huge treat if you're at the Rebecca Cohen tomorrow evening. Let's talk a little bit about the audiences across the country, because you're also going to take the show across the country. So how do Maritimers compare to the rest of the Canadian audiences?
Well, it's a good question, and obviously I'm not pandering when I say that Maritime audiences are the best, but I mean generally Canadian audiences are just so much nicer than British audiences. British audiences, they tend to come out to a comedy club or a theatre with this attitude of make me laugh. and then you go, Canadian audiences, as weird as it sounds, come out to actually have a good time. But for me, it's just all about exploring as much of this beautiful country as we can, and with everything going on in the world. I mean, as crazy as it does seem to record a stand-up special in the middle of a world war, there's also something to be said for finding laughter at a time when, let's face it, most of us are thinking, is there any laughter left in the world?
Absolutely. You know what? That's a good point. You're also bringing us a sweet story, a children's book with your son River. Tell me about it.
Thank you. Yes, my son River writes book reviews for our magazine, The Maritime Edit, and he came to me with an idea for a book, which was, why don't we write a book about based on his memories of moving to a new country, but maybe making it about our mini doodle dog, Willow. And it's about Willow trying to find her place and find her place in a new home and try and make friends. And all of us can relate to that idea of, being new and different in a new place and trying to make friends and feeling insecure. So we channeled all of that into a book called Willow Finds Her Wag, and it's going to be published by Pottersfield Press this fall. And for me, it's just the greatest chance to go on the road with my 12-year-old son and promote a book together.
Do your kids think you're funny?
No, not at all. Mainly because I take things they say and turn it into material. So as far as they're concerned, they are the co-writers. But for me, I mean, one of the highlights of summer last year was coming here to Halifax, to Lake Banook, and watching my son kayak on that river. And as I pulled into town today, I saw on the front page of the newspaper, as the rest of the world is burning, the front page news here in Nova Scotia was that the buoys were being put out and the lane markers were being put out on Lake Banook because the headline said it's mild enough. And I thought, how great is that we live in a part of the world where the headline news is that it's mild enough to put out the lane markers. Well, God bless Halifax, God bless Nova Scotia.
We'll take any good news at all. All right, and speaking of good news, we want to tell people how they can win this amazing hot tub. All right, here we go. CTV and Arctic Spas want to give you the chance to hop into a hot tub of your very own. One lucky viewer will take home a Yukon hot tub package valued at $31,000, featuring 2 pumps, 40 massage jets, a weather shield cover, a cover lifter, and a Spa Boy salt water system. To enter, head to ctvatlantic.ca and follow the contest prompts or scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can enter once per day until Saturday, April the 18th. James, what a pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much, Maria. And everyone, into that competition, you need this hot tub. I've got the biggest show of my life tomorrow night, so I'm squeezing in 2 more shows tonight as warm-up. And what better to do minutes before than sit in an Arctic Spas hot tub? I mean, this is the dream. And Maria, I mean, please, next time, we're in this together.
Okay, next time. All right, that's a deal.
Put it there.
Thank you. Good luck tomorrow night. Break a leg, I guess, is the better way to say it. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Here's a look at what's coming up next.
Hey, it's Emily from Halifax Seed, and we are back for another season of the Garden Guide. Coming up next, we'll talk all about seed starting.
Arthritis Society Canada invites you to the East Coast Roast of Steve Murphy. This unforgettable night of comedy and community takes place April 25th in Halifax. Funds raised will support people living with arthritis. Visit eastcoastroast.ca.
The Garden Guide is brought to you by Halifax Seed, growing for 160 years.
Welcome back to CTV News at 5. We are here with my friend Emily Triguno, another edition of the Garden Guide.
It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you too. And this is year 160 for Halifax Seed. That is impressive.
It is. We are celebrating 160 years of helping, Atlantic Canada grow gardens and lawns and all of the things. So thank you to all of you for being here.
Well, thank you to you for being here. And let's get right to it. So it's April. It's cold. It's wet. What can you do to start your garden?
Yeah, so let's be honest. We are still having a traditional spring. Yeah. It's rainy. It's chilly or seasonal, maybe.
Or cold.
There's still lots we can do to get our garden growing and to get a little bit of a head start on everything. Right. So I'm late in prepping anything for my garden. I have nothing started, and I'm going to do that today and tomorrow.
You're late, but you're not behind.
Not that behind.
Okay.
So starting seed indoors, especially this time of year, you don't need a lot. So you need a cell or some sort of vessel to put soil in. So whether it's a plastic cell or even one of the fiber cells or a Jiffy pellet that we have over here, you just need something to hold the soil. You need a tray just to keep it mess-free. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you're going to want some sort of dome to help create moisture and that greenhouse effect so the soil warms up a little bit.
How about a light?
So lights are wonderful. So if you want to really invest, you know what, or maybe you don't have a really bright windowsill that you can put a tray in, lights are fantastic. You want to make sure you have a really good soil. This is my favorite. It's by ProMix. It's a seed starting soil, very specific to promoting good germination and that healthy start that the plants need. So always read the back of the packet and understand what that planting depth is. The key to success is you want to fill the cell. You don't want to pack it down, but you also don't want to you want to make sure that there's no air pockets or bubbles, you simply place the seed right on top. Tomatoes like to be just an 1/8 of an inch down. So gently sprinkle over.
And there you have it.
Yep. You want to make sure that you do have a moisture content in your soil. When I'm done planting a full tray, I'll mist it with a little spray bottle, put the dome on top, and put it in a sunny spot.
There you go. Emily, always awesome advice. We'll
Thanks
see you next week.
We'll see you then.
Well, today across the Maritimes, it was more cloud cover and in some cases some drizzle and fog. The fog is looking especially thick here. This is around Herring Cove in Nova Scotia. Similar conditions expected for much of the region tonight, though we do have some rain moving in from the west. I'll update you on that after the break.
Welcome back. Kaylin Mitchell joins us once again. Kaylin, I have to say this week has kind of been a little gray and gloomy. We need some sunshine.
Yeah. It's not unusual for us here in the Maritimes, of course, to get into a stretch of spring days that are on the grayer side and accompanied by periods of soggy weather. We've had that this week. A little bit of a break in that pattern, though, coming up as we make our way into the start of the upcoming weekend. Looking out here around the St. Stephen area in New Brunswick, you can see that cloudy sky in the background as we take a look at our sunrise and sunset times for the provincial capitals. In the Maritimes, sun rising 6:22 to 6:36 a.m. and setting between around 8:01 and 8:16 p.m. Taking a look at our weather systems map, barometric pressure once again is sort of middle of the road, but we're still in the vicinity of this stalled out weather front that's not only been impacting us with some cloudy conditions and some wet weather this week, but also parts of Quebec and southern Ontario. In fact, they've had so much repeating rounds of rain in parts of Ontario that it has led to some flooding situations, especially through central parts of Ontario, so basically areas moving north of Toronto. And thankfully, we haven't seen too many instances of flooding here in the Maritimes. Of course, this time of year, we always do want to keep an eye on the situation when it comes to the rivers, streams, and tributaries. St. John River at the monitored sites right now, there's only a few areas that are starting to approach the advisory stage, but nobody at the watch or warning level, though some water levels are forecast to increase over the coming days. Again, maybe a few more areas reaching that advisory stage. Taking a look at our weather systems map, when this low pressure system and the few weather fronts with it move through tonight and into Friday morning, that's when we get a little bit of a reprieve from this cloudy and sort of cool and damp weather pattern. There'll be some sunny breaks for parts of the Maritimes tomorrow, with Saturday seeing more of a widespread fair weather mix of sun and cloud across the region. Now, of course, that system has to move through first, and it is going to be bringing in some rain and some showers with it. The first area of the region to be getting into the wet weather is going to be up in the northwest of New Brunswick, where you can see already some of that rain is on the doorstep for communities like Edmundston and Grand Falls and approaching San Catan. Now, as we take a look at our forecast timeline and make our way through this evening and tonight, the rain is going to be moving northwest to southeast across the Maritimes. It is expected to be steadiest across northern areas of New Brunswick, and there may be some pockets of around 10 to 20 millimeters of rain. For much of the rest of the region, it's either going to be lighter rain or even some showers, also accompanied by some drizzle and some fog, with some rainfall amounts that could be in the range of around 2 to 10 millimeters. Again, this type of rain shouldn't really be causing us much in the way of issues around the region. Now, as we make our way through Friday morning into Friday afternoon, the bulk of the rain and showers clears away, except for a lingering chance of showers down around the southwest of Nova Scotia. And you can see the grays breaking up a little bit as well throughout the day, mostly for the province of New Brunswick, but also in a few areas for Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. That's the start of that high pressure system moving in, leading to some sunny breaks. Now, winds in the forecast for tomorrow do change direction. They do become northerly in the afternoon. They'll be sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with some gusts between 20 and 40. Most of the low temperatures in the Maritimes tonight will fall into the range around the low to mid single digits. So it's still going to be cool out there, especially with some damp weather, rain, showers, drizzle, and fog. And then in the forecast for tomorrow, where the sun does break through, which is mostly for the province of New Brunswick, could be some high temperatures around the mid to high teens. A little bit cooler for Prince Edward Island tomorrow. High temperatures near 8 degrees. Most of the high temperatures in Nova Scotia should reach the low to mid-teens as well. Maria. Oh, our weather watcher for tonight. Can't forget about that. Holy cow. All right, our weather watcher for tonight is 11-year-old Amelia Fleming from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. Amelia sent us a drawing of May flowers, and she is very happy. It is spring and is looking forward to all of the flowers coming up. Thank you, Amelia. Great drawing. Weather watchers can come into CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Now over to Marie.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. And I'm going to throw to a commercial break, but not before we give you a preview of what's coming up next.
I'm Brianne Foley in Halifax, where the Thunderbirds now have double the Wilson power. That story coming up tonight on CTV News at 5.
Welcome back. So last year, we brought you a story of the battle between brothers in the National Lacrosse League. This time, it's a family united. As CTV's Brianne Foley shows us, Max and Casey Wilson are more than ready to play box lacrosse together again.
And there's Casey Wilson's first National Lacrosse League goal.
Casey Wilson was more than happy to be traded to the Halifax Thunderbirds from Las Vegas this season.
Been a team I had my eyes on for a long time, and for that to happen in the way it did for me, I'm super excited to be here. My mom used to tell me I used to just point at him and laugh when I was like 4 years old.
Playing alongside his brother Max has always been the goal.
Our family has roots out in South Rustico since my dad grew up, and they had a farm out there. And so to just continue to build the sport that allows us that sense of community and is bringing a lot of others into, having my brother come in.
Though they grew up in Victoria, Halifax is home.
I mean, this is home now. The people in Victoria, they're not going to be too thrilled with me saying that. But, you know, I'll call a spade, right? Like, this is really what we call home now as a family. And I couldn't be more grateful to actually have that come to fruition.
And obviously, us growing up playing lacrosse and going to university for lacrosse with such a great team here playing box lacrosse, it's kind of just full circle. So.
Casey played his first NLL game and scored his first NLL goal on his original coast in Vancouver last weekend.
Kind of get the monkey off the back early in the first game. You know, sometimes it takes guys a couple games to get the first one, and in my opinion, it's the hardest one to get. So hopefully the floodgates open up a bit here.
The Thunderbirds are in a do-or-die game Saturday against the Ottawa Black Bears, and Casey is willing to leave it all on the floor to see his first postseason in the NLL. Brianne Foley, CTV News, Halifax.
Oh, congratulations to the brothers, and go Thunderbirds go. Big game on Saturday.
I've never not had a good time going to a Thunderbirds game.
So much
they are
fun.
a blast.
Oh, and let me tell you, tomorrow our hot tub guest may have a Thunderbirds connection. I didn't want to give too much away.
Looking forward to hearing about that. I'm sure some people would like to hear about some sunnier, warmer conditions here in the Maritimes. There's a few areas that will get into that type of weather over the next couple of days, and I'll bring you an update on that coming up CTV News at 6.
We'll see you and Todd at 6 o'clock. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. The national news is next.